Welcome to SOD TV. In this video, we will be ranking each DPS class and spec, and the most popular runes used with them. This is based on the 95th percentile of parsers on warcraftlogs.com. Let's jump right into it. For the balanced druid, they stand at the 9th rank in popularity, maintaining their position from the previous ranking. Their DPS rank remains steady at 11th, but their DPS amount has seen a slight increase, moving from 777 to 826. When it comes to rune choices, balanced druids are favoring Gale Winds for the head slot at 78.1%, Fury of Stormrage for the chest slot at 99.5%, and Elune's Fires for the wrist slot at 98.1%. For the glove slot, Sunfire is the top choice at 98.3%, while Eclipse dominates the belt slot at 99.7%. Star Surge is the preferred rune for the leg slot at 99.7%, and Dream State is the favored choice for the feet slot at 99.4%. For the Feral Druid, we find ourselves in the 7th spot in popularity, holding steady from our previous rank. Our DPS rank has slipped slightly from 5th to 6th, but don't be fooled, our DPS amount has actually increased from 950 to 1026. Now, let's talk runes. For the head slot, Gore is the clear choice with 97.8% usage. Wild Strikes dominates the chest slot at 99.4%. Elune's Fires is favored for the wrist slot at 89.4%. Mangle is the top pick for the glove slot at 99.0%. Berserk is almost universally chosen for the belt slot at 99.6%. Savage Roar roars ahead in the leg slot at 99.3%. And finally, King of the Jungle reigns supreme in the feet slot at 99.2%. As a feral druid, your power is as wild and unpredictable as the world around you. Harness it, and let your roar echo across Azeroth. For the melee hunter, we find ourselves ranked 5th in popularity, maintaining our position from the previous ranking. Our DPS rank has slightly shifted from 1st to 2nd, but fear not, our DPS amount has seen a positive adjustment from 1,178 to 1,241, keeping us in the competitive range. Now, let's delve into our rune choices. For the head slot, Cat-like Reflexes is the top choice with 96.1% of hunters opting for it. Heart of the Lion dominates the chest slot at 80.7%. Raptor Fury is the preferred choice for the wrist slot at 99.3%. Beast Mastery is favored for the glove slot at 96.5%. The belt slot sees a near unanimous choice for melee specialist at 99.7%. Flanking Strike is the go-to for the leg slot at 99.7%. Lastly, for the feet slot, Dual Wield Specialization is the preferred rune at 98.6%. As we continue to evolve and adapt, remember, the path of the melee hunter is one of constant growth and relentless pursuit of perfection. For the ranged hunter, the popularity rank stands at 6th, maintaining its previous position. The DPS rank remains steady at 7th, but the DPS amount has seen a significant increase, moving from 895 to 996. As for rune choices, the majority of players opt for lock and load in the head slot at 96.5%. The chest slot sees a split decision with Heart of the Lion at 49.3%. Focus Fire is the preferred choice for the wrist slot at 70.5%, while Chimera Shot dominates the glove slot at 97.0%. The belt slot is almost unanimously filled with Exposed Weakness at 98.6%. Sniper Training is the go-to for the leg slot at 96.2%. And Trap Launcher is the overwhelming favorite for the feet slot at 99.3%. Today, Arcane Mages rank 14th in popularity, maintaining the same position as before. Their DPS rank also remains steady at 14th, but their DPS amount has seen a notable increase, moving from 443 to 482. When it comes to rune choices, the majority of Arcane Mages are opting for Temporal Anomaly in the head slot at 38.6%, Burnout in the chest slot at 73.6%, and Molten Armor on the wrist at 61.6%. The gloves are almost unanimously favoring Arcane Blast at 94.4%, while the belt is close behind with Missile Barrage at 92.6%. Living Flame is the preferred choice for the leg slot at 64.6%. And finally, Spell Power is the go-to for the feet slot at a whopping 93.4%. The Arcane Mage continues to evolve, demonstrating the limitless potential of this class. For the Fire Mage, this class holds its ground firmly at the 3rd spot in popularity, maintaining its previous rank. In terms of DPS, the Fire Mage continues to hold the 9th rank, But don't be fooled by the static ranking, as the DPS amount has seen a significant increase, jumping from 841 to 941 to 914. Now, let's delve into the rune choices that have been shaping the Fire Mage's journey. For the head slot, Advanced Warding takes the lead with 60.5%. The chest slot sees a near-unanimous preference for Burnout at 99.1%. Molten Armor is the popular choice for the wrist slot at 96.9%, while Living Bomb dominates the glove slot with a whopping 99.6%. The belt slot is almost exclusively dedicated to Frostfire Bolt at 98.4%, and Icy Veins is the favored choice for the leg slot at 75.6%. Finally, the feet slot sees a high preference for Spell Power, coming in at 97.7%. For the Frost Mage, they hold the 12th spot in popularity, a step up from their previous 13th position. Their DPS rank remains steady at 8th, with a notable increase in DPS amount from 866 to 917. As for rune choices, the majority of Frost Mages are opting for Deep Freeze in the head slot at 77.2%, Fingers of Frost in the chest slot at 70.1%, and an overwhelming 99.4% choosing Molten Armor for the wrist slot. The glove slot sees a high preference for Living Bomb at 98.2%, while Frostfire Bolt is the unanimous choice for the belt slot at 100%. Icy Veins is favored in the leg slot at 95.8%, and Spell Power is the go-to for the feet slot at 95.7%. These statistics show the current trends and preferences among Frost Mages, a testament to their adaptability and enduring strength in the face of any challenge. For the DPS Paladin, the current landscape of the game has them sitting comfortably at the 10th spot in popularity, a position they've maintained from the previous ranking. Their DPS rank remains unchanged at 5th, with a steady DPS amount of 1,030. When it comes to rune choices, the majority of DPS Paladins opt for Wrath in the head slot at 93.5%, Seal of Martyrdom in the chest slot at 98.9%, and improved Hammer of Wrath on the rest at 78.4%. The gloves are almost unanimously equipped with Crusader Strike at 97.8%, while the belt slot sees Sheath of Light at a whopping 99.4%. The leg slot is dominated by Exorcist at 99.6%, and finally, the Art of War is the preferred choice for the feet slot at 98.7%. For the DPS Priest, today's popularity rank is 8th, maintaining its previous position. The DPS rank remains consistent at 13th, with a slight increase in DPS amount from 713 to 713 to 772. The preferred rune choices among players are as follows: Eye of the Void for the head slot at 83.1%, Void Plague for the chest slot at 96.6%, Despair for the wrist slot at 91.0%, Shadow Word Death for the glove slot at 92.6%, Mind Spike for the belt slot at 92.6%, Mind Spike for the belt slot at 99.7%, Homunculi for the leg slot at 93.7%, and Dispersion for the feet slot at 99.0%. For the DPS Rogue, the popularity rank of this class stands at 2nd, maintaining its position from the previous ranking. The DPS rank, 2, remains steady at 3rd. However, there's been a significant increase in the DPS amount, which has jumped from 1,121 to 1,201. Now, let's delve into the rune choices that are shaping the success of DPS rogues. For the head slot, Combat Potency is the go-to rune with 41.3% usage. The chest slot sees almost universal use of Deadly Brew at 99.7%. The wrist slot is dominated by Cut to the Chase, preferred by 83.4% of players. Mutilate is the top choice for the glove slot at 98.6%, while Shadow Step is the favored rune for the belt slot at 98.7%. Envenom is the popular pick for the leg slot with a usage rate of 99.7%. And finally, the feet slot sees Master of Subtlety being used by 97.4% of players. For the Elemental Shaman, they stand at the 13th rank in popularity, a slight drop from their previous 12th position. Despite this, their DPS rank remains steady at 12th, with a notable increase in DPS amount from 730 to 805. The runes that guide their power have also seen some shifts. In the head slot, Burn is chosen 64.6% of the time. Overload dominates the chest slot with a 99.3% pick rate. Rolling Thunder is the preferred choice for the wrist slot at 87.9%, while Lava Burst is almost universally chosen for the glove slot at 99.4%. Power Surge is the favored rune for the belt slot at 98.6%, and Shamanistic Rage is chosen for the leg slot 99.5% of the time. Lastly, the Spirit of the Alpha rune is selected for the feat slot 73.8% of the time. The path of the Elemental Shaman is one of constant evolution and adaptation, always ready to harness the raw power of the elements. For the Enhancement Shaman, today's popularity rank stands at 11th, maintaining the same position as before. The DPS rank remains at 4th, but the DPS amount has seen an increase, adjusting from 1,064 to 1,168. When it comes to rune choices, the head slot is dominated by Mental Dexterity at 99.5%. The chest slot is ruled by Dual Wield Specialization at 98.4%, while the wrist slot sees Static Shock at 83.8%. The glove slot is taken by Lava Lash at 97.0%, and the belt slot is almost unanimously chosen for Maelstrom Weapon at 99.6%. The leg slot sees Shamanistic Rage at 99.5%, and finally, the feat slot is led by Spirit of the Alpha at 99.1%. These statistics offer a comprehensive insight into the current trends and preferences for the Enhancement Shaman. For the DPS Warlock, the popularity rank stands at 4th, maintaining its previous position. The DPS rank remains steady at 10th, with a notable increase in DPS amount from 837 to 900. When it comes to rune choices, the majority of players opt for Backdraft in the head slot at 80.9%, Demonic Tactics for the chest slot at 85.6%, and Immolation Aura for the wrist slot at 73.9%. The glove slot sees a preference for Chaos Bolt at 77.5%, while the belt slot is dominated by Grimoire of Synergy at 75.5%. The leg slot is most often filled with Incinerate at 84.0%, and the feat slot is almost unanimously chosen to be Demonic Knowledge at 99.3%. These statistics highlight the current trends and preferences among DPS Warlocks, offering insights into the most effective combinations for this class and spec. For the DPS Warrior, they stand at the pinnacle of popularity, holding the first rank, a position they've maintained from the previous period. Their DPS rank has seen a significant rise, moving up from 2nd to now being the top DPS class. Interestingly, their DPS amount remains consistent at 1,251. Now, let's delve into the preferred rune choices for our DPS Warriors. For the head slot, Taste for Blood is the go-to choice for 72.9% of players. The chest slot sees a near unanimous preference for Flagellation at 99.2%. Wrecking Crew is the popular choice for the wrist slot, chosen by 96.8% of players. The glove slot sees a split preference with Endless Rage at 48.1%. The belt slot is dominated by Precise Timing at 58.8%. For the leg slot, Consumed by Rage is the choice for 50.9% of players. Finally, the feat slot sees a slight majority choosing Rallying Cry at 50.2%.